Evaluation. During an internship, several evaluations and an assessment take place. In the tutorial monitoring, you see that at the intermediate point, the chef and the teacher of Mark evaluate the internship based on a midterm questionnaire. This evaluation clarifies if everything is going well according to the arrangement made before the start of the internship. Expectations will be managed, and if necessary, the training program will be adjusted. Also, at the end of the internship, further evaluations take place. These evaluations clarify what is accomplished by all parties involved. What went well? What can be improved for the future? On the website of the project UXM2, www.eu-mobility.eu, you find different templates of evaluation for various target groups: sending organisation, hosting organisation, intermediaries, accompanying teachers and students. Further to the evaluations during an internship, it is also possible to complete assessment by the end of an internship. An assessment clarifies if the student accomplished the learning outcomes described in the learning agreement. There are two methods of assessment: formative and summative. In many cases, a formative assessment is usual for the completion of an internship. A formative assessment reflects the trainee's progress and determines his current competencies and how skills can further be developed. The performance shown by the trainee is reviewed against the learning outcomes to be achieved. Staff from the company who supervise the trainee often give their conclusions on the basis of a questionnaire. The conclusions or results enable the trainee to further improve competences and then complete the summative assessment. If the internship may not be concluded with the formative assessment, this can be replaced with the summative assessment where necessary and appropriate. A summative assessment is to determine whether the learning outcomes have been achieved by the student. In this situation, certification takes place. A summative assessment aims to summarize overall learning achieved at the completion of the course or unit. Methods of summative assessment are questionnaires, surveys, interviews, observations, testing, or a project. In the case of a summative assessment, more things must be established. A summative assessment must take place according to the demands of the sending organisation and the national certification regulations. For instance, in the Netherlands, the tutor of the student cannot be the assessor. Guidance and assessment tutors should be separated. However, this varies across EU countries and qualification authorities. In this tutorial, we give you an example of a summative assessment. In the last week of the internship, Mark has to prepare a 3-course meal for 5 people. Mark consults the assessment process with his chef and informs him of his intention, organisation and preparation for the assessment. According to the learning outcomes, Mark has to prepare and create a 3-course meal. He has to select and purchase the ingredients, take care of preparation, and has to provide the 3-course meal to 5 people. Mark must be able to prepare the 3-course meal independently by using techniques learnt during his internship. The mobility coordinator sends the chef of the restaurant a template for this specific assessment. The template clearly indicates how the assessment should be undertaken. A few examples of indicators which will be measured are planning of activities, adjust the recipe, take care of the maintenance of kitchen utilities, prepare a meal, order ingredients, compile a menu. In order to assess Mark objectively, another chef from the restaurant will assess Mark during the final stages. Because Mark's assessment is official, the mobility coordinator of Mark's school will be present during the final day of his exam, which can be agreed within the Memorandum of Understanding. On Friday of the final week, Mark spends the day preparing the ingredients for the 3-course meal. For Mark, the preparation work is hard and stressful. Now he has to demonstrate the skills he's achieved during his internship and that he can meet the assessment requirements. The chef of the restaurant observes Mark and only intervenes if necessary. At the end of the day, everything is prepared. The waiters begin serving dinner. First, they serve the starter, a shrimp cocktail. While the guests enjoy their starter, Mark prepares the main course, meat or fish with vegetables. For dessert, the guests receive chocolate mousse with a bowl of ice cream. After dinner, The chef asks the guests to comment on the dinner. Their feedback, together with the chef's own observations, will partly determine the final result. Besides the practical observation, Mark is also assessed through a questionnaire provided by the mobility coordinator. Mark has to demonstrate his cooking techniques, his ability to perform his planning and preparation skills, and his ability to work under pressure. In other words, determine that his knowledge is sufficient and that he possesses the correct skills and attitude. The assessor judges that Mark has achieved all learning outcomes. The guests and the chef are satisfied. Mark passes his assessment. After the assessment, Mark, his chef and teacher evaluate the internship. All fill in an evaluation form. Mark concludes that he learnt a lot, especially new cooking techniques. The chef is satisfied with Mark's attitude, hardworking, concise, and every day he's punctual. The teacher is happy about the way Mark was guided during his internship. All parties agree that the internship was too short. That is a learning point for the next time. Mark says goodbye and goes back to his home country, Germany.